I remind you there is less than a month left until the presidential elections in the USA, and analysts' forecasts about the outcome of the presidential race are constantly changing. According to a recent poll, Trump is ahead of his Democratic opponent in the swing states of Michigan and Wisconsin. It has also become known that there will be no new round of debates. The 45th president of the USA stated that he does not intend to participate in them, despite his rising popularity in pre-election polls. How is the USA preparing for the presidential race? Details in the author's column, Mendeleva's table. There is less than a month left until the presidential elections in the USA. Tensions are rising. The global analytical community is trying to predict who will take the White House, Trump or Harris. Let's examine all the political elements and put them in place. This is Mendeleva's table. Let's figure it out together. The favorite of the race is still uncertain. Analysts' assumptions are constantly changing. The company ActiVote published poll results showing former U.S. President Donald Trump leading Vice President Kamala Harris by 1.2%. Which of course greatly displeases the Democrats who continue to dominate the media. But whoever is in charge orders the materials. Exclusive footage leaked online. In it, a producer of a show on the American channel MSNBC admitted that their channel works entirely for Kamala Harris. So MSNBC is just doing everything to get Kamala elected?
Yes, it proves what I say, that this news network is indistinguishable from the party.
They are simply the mouthpiece of the Democratic Party.
Exactly.
And no other way, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton called on the U.S. authorities to establish full control over the information space. The politician stated that it is necessary to repeal the section granting internet platforms immunity.
Now we know that it was too simplistic a view that if platforms, whether Facebook or Twitter X, Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, do not moderate and control content, we lose complete control.
And the New York Times, after the most mature candidate Joe Biden dropped out of the race, is now trying to speculate on Trump's age. Journalists write that the speeches of the pale candidate are allegedly becoming longer and more incoherent, which may be a sign of cognitive decline. However, Trump's supporters are not lagging behind in the information confrontation. They launched a book for sale titled Achievements of Kamala Harris. All pages of the bestseller are completely blank. On the Republican side is Elon Musk, an American entrepreneur convinced that the upcoming U.S. presidential elections will be the last if Trump loses. In his opinion, if Harris wins, the USA will slide into tyranny, and Trump is the only one who can save democracy. You're doomed.
Exactly. If he loses, I'm doomed.
It seems so. You can't just say, well,
The question will only be how long I will now sit in prison, and if I will see my children again.
Conflicts in the Middle East, Ukraine, and natural disasters do not play in favor of the Democrats. In particular, the authorities' indifference to Americans affected by the hurricane cannot be hidden before the elections. Washington simply lacks the funds to eliminate the consequences of natural disasters, writes Zoe Schlanger in an article for The Atlantic.
We invested almost $300 billion in Ukraine, and yet the Biden administration offers people $750 for emergency needs due to the strongest hurricane we've ever had. I was in North Carolina all day and saw very few people, except those who were severely affected. One person was sitting on a rock because he had nothing left. He was sitting on a rock.
Americans on social media suggest renaming Florida to Ukraine to speed up the process of allocating aid from the federal budget. Even before the upcoming vote, the authorities have already begun openly intimidating their voters with threats of foreign interference. The development of a post-voting strategy is also in its active phase. Around the White House in Washington, an additional 2-meter fence has appeared, secured with concrete blocks. Closer to November, the area will be expanded, as unrest and dissatisfaction are inevitable in any scenario.